안녕하세요, 기라 선생님입니다. So this is part 3 in my 5-part video series teaching you all about Hangul, the Korean writing system. So in this part, I'm going to talk about consonants. So not vowels, which are a, I, u, e, o in English, but all the other sounds, like your B sound, K, G, all those sounds. Alright, so jumping into it. Now, like I said, Hangul kind of just makes sense. And one of the examples of this is the consonants. Now, when King Sejong the Great was creating the consonants, him and his scholars, they looked at what kind of shapes your mouth or your tongue or your throat make when making that specific sound. And that's what they based it off of. So if we look at the first consonant, it's this K or G sound, K. And if you imagine like a side profile of your face, when you're making that K sound, this line that is the character is actually representing the shape that your tongue is making. So I want you to try it right now. Turn your head to the side and make a K sound. Now try to think about where is your tongue when you're making that sound. And then the next character is the N sound, like N. Yeah, so it makes an N sound. And again, if you look at your head from the side profile, when making that N sound, it's actually kind of doing that same shape, almost like an L shape. Okay, so now this is where things get even crazier. So you have the N sound, which looks like an L shape, but then you go ahead and add a line on top of it, and then it becomes the D or sometimes a T sound. The reason for that is because think about when you're making the T or D sound, where is your tongue? It's actually in the same place that your tongue would be when making the N sound. So N sound and the D sound, your tongue is actually in the same place. Now, to take it even a step further, you have this character, which looks like a snake almost. This is the R or L sound. It's not the R sound like we have in English for words like red, but it's more of a rolling tongue R sound. And again, think about where your tongue is placed when you're making that R or L sound. It's in the same place. So because of that, all they did was add on this 2 extra lines on top of the D character, or 3 lines on top of the N character. And then now you have your R and L character. Okay, so moving on. Next we have the M sound, which it's supposed to be the shape that your lips make when making that M sound. This one, I don't agree with it completely. I can't really see it, but I mean, they've done so like really good so far, so we'll just kind of go with it. So that's the M character, M. But again, they went ahead and made things like super make sense, and they went and added these 2 little lines on the side going upward, and then this sound becomes your B sound, your B or P sound. P, P. So we're about halfway through the consonants. Now, if you wanna maybe take a break now, can pause this video, come back to it later.
Few moments later.
Alright, so moving on. Next we have this character, which is supposed to represent your tongue hitting the back of your upper teeth, producing an S sound. So this is S, S. And again, so King Sejong the Great and his scholars, they went ahead and just added a line on top of that, making this the J sound. Again, think about S, S, and J, J. Your tongue is in the same place for the most part. And then the next consonant that we have is this circle sound. Now, I introduced it a little bit in the vowel video where it doesn't have a sound when it's in the first place. However, when this circle sound is actually in the bachim, remember in my introduction video to Hangul, I talked about some words having the consonant, vowel, consonant order. If this circle is in that bottom place, then it actually produces an NG sound. Ng, ng. Now, you might be wondering what this represents. How can this one circle be no sound or an NG sound? Think about what this looks like. This looks like your throat, yeah? So if you're making no sound, then no sound is coming out of your throat. if you're making a sound from your throat, then it's going to be that sound. Alright, so we're almost there. Just a couple more consonants. And these ones, I like to describe it as having more of a hollower sound. So what I mean by that is you can think of the original consonant sound, but follow it with an H sound. So the first one we have is this character. And if you notice, it kind of looks like the G sound. Now, because of that extra line, it's actually like a strong K sound, like K, K. Then we have this character, which again, if you can make the connection, it looks almost like the D sound. This one is a strong T sound, T, T. So just to be clear, right, the G character can sometimes sound more like a K sound as well, like kalbi, right? We say it in English, kalbi, but this K character and this T character, they're definitely K sound and T sound. Now, the next character, it might not resemble the other ones as much, but it's a P sound. Maybe you can kind of see the resemblance. But so this one too, it's P, P. And then following that, we have this character, which looks similar to the J sound. And this one is Ch, Ch. And then lastly, we have the H sound itself, H, H. Now, this one, I guess it would look similar to the circle one, which doesn't have a sound. And if you think about it, the H sound is actually just no sound really being pushed out except the H. So that's it for the 14 base consonants. I hope this video helps. You can watch it as many times as you like to get familiar with it and be ready for my part 4 and part 5 videos, which are on combined vowels and double consonants. Thank you for watching. 들어주셔서 감사합니다.